Sorry guys, I was cut off. I'm going to have to figure out how to use my professional camcorder. Um, I'm still using my phone. We're having a big, massive yard sale this weekend. So I promise when that's over, I'm going to figure out how to film videos where I'm not cut off. Um, as I was saying, Lynn Wilson, who has a wonderful channel called At Home with Lynn Wilson, she made a great point about meat, with the price of meat going up, to just serve smaller portions with bigger side dishes of vegetables, to stretch the meat further, because obviously meat is very expensive right now. Um, then let's see, I got off track here. Another good idea, start buying books on how to homestead, and not only buy the books but actually put them to use. Let's see, for example, I've bought some books on how to survive, or what uh, I think the Boy Scouts used to use on how to make a fire, and just different things like that. And I've bought books on substitute this ingredient when you're out of it with that ingredient, or uh, medicinal things if you're out of a certain type of medicine, what plants and things like that can you use in its place. So I recommend using this time where we've got access to the internet to just start learning, just embracing the knowledge of what's at your fingertips right now, to learn how to homestead and do things that you've maybe haven't done before, like, bake bread from scratch, things like that. So I recommend thrift books, or if you have a 50% off bookstore in your area, or go to your local library and check out some books, make some copies, some photocopies while you can, and just prepare yourself for if the day might come where we don't have access to the internet anymore, or power, electricity. I mean, you never know. So just get prepared and start, practicing these survival skills. So that's my next bit of advice. Be open with your young children without fear mongering, to let them know what's going on in the world. We live in outside of Houston, so we're familiar with hurricanes and power outages. The wind can blow 5 miles an hour and we'll lose power. So we're used to being without power. But some kids, I mean, they're addicted to their phones, the internet, their video games, all that stuff. So start preparing your children for what the future may hold without fear mongering, and get them kind of used to alternatives, like go to the Dollar Tree and they carry a lot of books. Get them books that they might be interested in reading, or puzzles, crossword puzzle, board games, things like that. And just, maybe once a month or something, turn the lights out, make it a fun kind of camping adventure, and just do something besides be hooked on electronics. We don't give our kids enough credit for how smart they really are and how intuitive they are. So we need to make sure that we're including them on what the future may hold, and not scare them, but just prepare them. So that's my next bit of advice, is be open with your children. I also recommend, because we like to hike, we camp and hike, recommend that you follow some hiker channels. There's some great ones. There's Chef Corso. There is the Hungry Hiker. They have great, if you were to ever need to bug out or have a get home bag, they have all these great ideas. They show you how to dehydrate food, because it's very important when you're doing long distance hiking to take as little weight as possible. So they dehydrate a lot of foods. They just have great ideas of things that you can put in your bug out bag, and how to survive out in the wilderness and things like that. So I recommend that you start following some hiker channels and learning that aspect of survival. Let's see here. I think I said this before, but I'll say it again. Slowly wean your family into eating more shelf stable pantry meals to avoid food fatigue. I know that I've been guilty of this. I get my pantry the way I love it and I don't want to touch it. And anytime I buy something or I go take something out of it, I go put two more things back in its place. But we need to be rotating through our food. And we also need to get our family used to the idea if the time ever comes where we're having to live off our preps, you want to avoid food fatigue. So I highly recommend that you start incorporating shelf stable meals into your weekly meal plan. And I know that it's not the most nutritionally dense or, the best for you food. Obviously, fresh is best, but it's just a good way to get your family used to eating that. Because if you go from eating fresh foods and then something happens where you're having to live off your preps, yeah, you could get sick real easily. So um, just start rotating the preps into your diet. Don't forget about your pets. We have cats, dogs, birds, rabbits, you name it. It's Noah's Ark over here, but make sure that you're prepping for them. But be careful because dog and cat food goes rancid quicker. You really can't stockpile a lot of dry dog food, but canned food, just try to incorporate preps in for your pets. Don't forget about them. And this is something I've been noticing a lot lately. Like, I get it, inflation is a thing, but I walk out of my store going, how did I pay $200 and I have like 8 items? Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I've started taking pictures of things on the shelf. And then when I get to the register, it rings up different. And I've called them out. This has happened at Walmart, Kroger, HEB, you name it. And I get it. Sometimes it's probably honest mistakes. Prices are changing faster, and they don't have enough staff to be continually changing the price on the floor. But there's been times they slip charges on my receipt that for things I didn't even buy. Check your receipts. If you are able, if you go and just buy a few items at a time, take pictures of everything, and then look at your receipt when you get it and scrutinize it. Just make sure things align. It's getting to where I'm always at least $5 to $15 over what I should have spent. So they're kind of counting on you to be so busy or overwhelmed or just assume, oh, well, that's inflation, that you don't look at your receipts. So please do that. Be mindful of the cost of gas. I mean, gone are the days where you can comparison shop and drive from store to store to see who's got the best deal. We fortunately live in an area where I can ride my bike to the store, I can walk to the store. Obviously, if you're getting a whole bunch of groceries, that's not an option, but or just look online before you go to the grocery store, see who's having the sales. Plan your menu around what's on sale that week. For example, recently at our local HEB, they've got grapes and asparagus on sale for next to nothing. So we bought a bunch of both. We're going to be making fruit leather with the grapes, grape jelly, grape juice, and with the asparagus, we're going to be canning it. So buy what's on sale and plan menus around that. So, oh, also, I absolutely am